Hello, recording a video. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. What's up, YouTube? This is Sean. I am an INFP. I want to talk about what that is and just be excited about being an INFP. Test check 1 2. Welcome to my channel. What's up, YouTube? I'm just testing this new light out. Woohoo! I just kind of wanted to share my experience as an INFP YouTube creator. For those of you who just do not care about being a creator and just have no interest in ever doing it, this is just going to be my story of how I started, things I've gone through mentally to kind of overcome hurdles, a lot of the pluses and minuses with it all. So I'd say I stumbled across this platform in the creator sense completely by random. It all kind of spawned from, I don't know, about a year or two prior to even jumping on YouTube. I was kind of like making videos, little picture-based videos for like family stuff, you know, kids' birthdays or Mother's Day or stuff like that. The videos were just horrible quality, but I found that I enjoyed video editing. It came to be a lot of work, but it was a place where I can have time on my own at my own speed to tell a story in a creative sense where I can kind of polish it up instead of usually, throwing stuff out there in the real world where it's not always polished. It's always just a mess typically. In video editing, you can kind of polish things up after the fact and just, again, get your story across of what you're trying to create. So then I started doing some work videos. I was like offering myself at work to kind of do training videos for customers and things like that. And the trigger actually started from one of my colleagues. He was in there, he watched the video, and he was just like, wow, you should be a vlogger. And at the time, I had zero idea what vlogging was or what a vlogger was. I watched a lot of content online, so you would assume that I would know what a vlogger meant, but my social footprint online was just next to zero prior to all this, so. I had to learn it all. I had to read about it. So naturally, as a curious type person, I took the vlogging thing and why is this guy telling me to do something like this? So I looked into it. At the time of reading it, nope, absolutely not. That's not happening. I will never do that. Thank you for throwing out an idea. But over time, for the next 6 months, I was like playing with the idea. I'm like, you know what? There's these people online that they're doing it, similar people that have the same kind of issues swirling around mentally in their heads. They're doing it, why can't I do it? I have stuff that I can share, my perspective on things. And these people that I used to watch, a lot of those creators are no longer around. And being on YouTube for this amount of time, I definitely understand better why. Because it's easy to judge if you've never posted a video or any kind of thing that you've created and put out there online or in the world. If you've never done it, trust me, you can speculate all you want, but it's difficult, especially how our minds work and just wanting to naturally just, when we take something deep within inside that we really are in tune with and we put it out there, it's hard to take criticism on it all. And you're going to, which is part of the YouTube struggles of just, you have to thicken your skin if you're going to get on YouTube. They're guaranteed to come no matter what you do. It could be the best video in the world. It's going to get criticized. So again, I was swirling around this idea, like I said, and so then I'm like, you know what? Okay, and before I didn't even have a YouTube account. Like a lot of you guys, like commenters that never maybe posted a video, you've made your own accounts on YouTube, so you can comment and you have your name on there and all this stuff. I didn't even have that, because before I never made a comment. I wasn't engaging. I was just sitting in the shadows lurking at people, totally getting helpful information. I was as a consumer, but I also wasn't reciprocating on the comments, which some of those longtime creators that have since left and are no longer somewhat active, I've put comments on their website or on their page to voice my appreciation, because it's just, to me, I felt I needed to do that. And I've got a lot of responses back from those, so again, that one guy triggered it to where I started having my mind start thinking about it with a very cautious approach. So 6 months leading up to YouTube, I literally dove down the pit of learning the basics of photography and video and all that stuff, which is super overwhelming. You can film a video off our phone, which anyone can do. Film it. You can use free site apps on your phone, clip it all together without much skill involved. It's just kind of hacking it up, and you can make a video that's super impactful. So there's not a lot involved, but for me, with video editing being such a passion for me, I wanted to go into it with chasing that perfectionism stuff. Which when you do that, it's not always good, because going down that path of learning everything from the basics of scratch, of framing things and frame rates and ISO levels and just all this camera stuff and color editing and just, it's so overwhelming if you don't have any skill set behind it, especially if you don't have like a photography background, which I didn't have. Super overwhelming. So this is where I do like all my video editing at. It's in the living room. I got my TV right there that I can put some music on or whatever and listen to it. But this chair is where I spend many hours. It has a permanent butt implant, and I've created my own self in this seat. The editing process is the very creative part. Filming the video for me is, I kind of just let loose. Coming into this is when I can really dial in things and just make things, just clean stuff up. So yeah, I do all the video editing on Premiere Pro. After Effects, it's Adobe product. But it is a higher end editing program, and the reason for that is because I wanted essentially no restrictions to produce what's in my mind, because it's so complex up there, and to meet closer to that perfectionist tendency world, I had to move on. I got this, I ended up doing this before I even made my first video, so this has been a program that I've had to learn over time from scratch. And if you've ever tried to go down a editing software, especially a powerful one, it's just things that used to take me a long time in the beginning, now I can just kind of zip through certain parts. But no, I'm still learning. There's still all kinds of tons of stuff. I can't get over that overwhelming part. Obviously, I've said it like 5 times. It's a lot of work, but with great power comes great learning experience, and that's the problem. You get something fancy, big and bad, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be sweet, I can do everything. But you gotta learn how to do that everything, and that comes with time. So just because there's a video that comes out doesn't mean that I spent my whole week of my downtime of what I'm doing, like on my free time, I'm researching how to do something. Oh, I'll have an idea, and then I go watch tutorials or whatever, which is time consuming. It's just, how do you do this? And then I gotta go stumble around on my editing program to really figure it out. If you wanted to kind of do crazy edits, and not saying mine are the greatest, it's just, they are very time consuming. It's not just little hacks. There's layers upon layers and all kinds of stuff that to the watcher is not always appreciated as much time as I have into like a little 2 or 3 second effect. And that comes a struggle with trying to weigh your head into stuff where you put something out there and you're like, oh man, that one took a lot of sleepless nights and all this stuff to achieve. And then when you throw it out there, you hear crickets. So editing is a whole different world. It's tied to YouTube, but it's just a big part of a learning curve that you gotta figure out. You just get quicker with it, stuff like that. So I almost gave up. I mean, I was going down, I was super excited about it, but I just got so discouraged because I'm like, this is too much. But also, the more I watch stuff, it showed me that it's kind of never endless with the amount of stuff that you can learn and create and storytell, and you can just do so much with videos that, to me, I'm always chasing that bottomless pit of stuff you can just keep on doing where it doesn't really get bored. And still to this day, I'm not bored with making videos. I can always do something new, inject new things. I'm always playing with my edits just to kind of see what else I can kind of learn and do, and always try to be better. So again, 6 months before even posting that first video, I was making my account on YouTube. I was editing my, making my channel art or whatever, and just kind of learning the structure of YouTube and how it worked. Just again, because that was all new to me as well. So a lot of people, well, that's easy to learn, but for me, it was all from scratch. So then I had this room available up in my house that was empty and it was not being used. So it's just like, hey, I'll start kind of constructing some kind of YouTube room, which you see all these YouTubers kind of making little YouTube rooms. But again, everything wasn't perfect. And a big part of YouTube is comparing yourself to others. I still struggle with it to this day. So comparing yourself to others, that is a super difficult thing, I think, for any YouTuber to do, especially when you're starting out. For me, I watch a ton of tutorials on video stuff. So I'm not just in the MBTI realm of YouTube. I am also just trying to develop my skills on the side, which is the video side of things. And if you ever watch videographers and people that have been on YouTube for many years, it's super difficult for me. I have some camera equipment that's higher end than a phone, but the whole point of this is you gotta do the best where you're at. So the videos I watch of these people, I mean, these guys have like $10,000, $20,000 cameras that they're using, and their lighting is all studio grade. They have their own warehouses that they purchased. And I mean, I got a YouTube room, which some would say, well, it must be nice to have the extra room. But for me, I am at a level to where I look at them as the same way. So it's super discouraging. I mean, obviously you guys know Frank James. If you look back on his original videos nowadays, he's got a new camera recently, and he just does a lot of stuff that he's learned over time. This is all just through learning. Just go back and do his original first round videos of the first year. I think he took a break after a while, but if you go back to his early videos, it shows the point of where it's come, and he's just persisted with it, and he's put a lot of time into it. But that's the whole thing, just not to be discouraged with advancing yourself over time. And again, it's easier said than done, because it's a daily struggle for me, but I just keep, you know what? I'm not ever gonna get a $20,000 camera or a warehouse for that matter. Never say never, I guess, but it's just not where I'm at this current time, and everyone else starts at a certain point. So if you go on here and you watch my videos, for example, and you see certain things
like I can never do that. I can't afford that. I can't do that.
You're just looking potentially at me as I'm looking at those next people that have been doing it forever and putting in the grind and all this stuff. So it's the discouragement factor is always going to be there no matter what level you're on. So the point is, just if you don't ever just keep doing it, then because of
I can't ever get a video that good.
It's the best you can do. And that's the whole point. It's like when I put a video out from the very first one, that video was the best I could have done at that point in my life. And over time, it just expands. And you could buy some fancy little neon light or all this stuff that's out there, but Peter McKinnon, I watch all the time, Marquez Brownlee. These guys are shooting in like 8K stuff, and my camera does 4K, but it's all messed up, so it's somewhat unusable. So I don't even shoot in 4K, but it's like, there's people that are on these wavelengths so far ahead that you just have to, hey, I gotta work with what I have. And it's easy, everyone wants to be there right away. And I get that. When I first started, I wanted to be Peter McKinnon. Just because he's very inspiring, everything he's doing, but it's put in through massive amount of work. I mean, he goes back and makes fun of his videos, and you could see it and be like, whoa, that first video looks similar to what I did. Because it's bad, but it's what he had, it's what I have, it's what you have, and that's the whole point, is just not giving up and being discouraged, even though there's gonna be days, 100% there's gonna be days where you're gonna compare yourself to somebody else. And it's just, you don't wanna mentally lose out on that battle, because you're gonna get stuck and you're gonna stop and you're gonna be like, and you're just gonna lose the fight. If you wanna pursue YouTube, it's something that you need to overcome. And that's why I made this little side rant, because it's a very important struggle that you gotta do. And I have no problem sharing everything I use with anybody who cares, but generally a lot of this kind of INFP realm, no one really cares what I'm using. But if you do, I'm very transparent with what I use. I don't care. Anything that's helpful, I'll be more willing to share. But one day, I was still about 3 months away from even making a video. I was just sitting downstairs one day, which... Hey man, so I hate to interrupt your favorite show, but how do you feel about going to make that first video? No, I'm not gonna do that right now. It's not ready, things aren't. No. You know you want to. Why would you be wasting all this time building up for it? No, but things are not the way I want them to be. And plus, I just don't have all the right equipment, and just things aren't right. I gotta research more. People are gonna judge me. It's just, I can't, I don't wanna deal with that right now. My life's too difficult. I got enough stuff going on. I'm too busy. Social media is hard. I don't wanna put my stuff out there. It's like, but, all right, I'm just saying, you're never gonna know what it's like until you actually put the first one out there. Yeah, I got nothing going on right now. Come on. All right, so 3, 2.
Wait. What does the winner get?
3, 2, 1. 3.
All right, ready, set, go.
1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. All right, screw it. I'm going. What's up, YouTube? This is my first video. My name is Sean. As you can see, I'm extremely nervous. This is also another caveat of being an INFP or an introverted type individual. We don't do good in front of a camera. This is the first time I've been in front of a camera. I don't do cameras. I remember that one most vividly, the start of it, because the amount of energy it took me to overcome that mental thought process that was going through my head. I knew it was getting closer and I wasn't ready. It wasn't perfect. It's still not perfect. It's never gonna be perfect. But when I look back now, I can see that I've come from a pretty far place, but it's all with practice and just taking that first step. And that's what it was for me that day. I was like so nervous. I mean, I think it can be seen in that video. My anxiety and everything about social fear and mental, just everything that came with it. All the things that can go through your head if you think about posting a video were there, but amplified by like 10. But I did it. And then since then, I was like, well, that wasn't so bad. Like, and then, a few more videos down the road, I still have anxiety to this day of where I get stuff, but I'm like super comfortable. Like, this is my fun time. Like, I get to come in here and just like, I look forward to making a video. So I got to talk about the analytics and all the numbers, and this, again, a mental struggle beyond your wildest dreams. Going back into everything about, when you put something out there, you typically don't like it. You like things to be, numbers to kind of vibe with what was in your head when you thought about putting it out there and you got all excited. But the thing is, the numbers will constantly mess with your mind. It's on your phone, it's on your computer, it's in your face. YouTube is very good at putting out numbers so you can kind of track things and adapt to trends that are working for you, what's not working for you. But as an INFP, with your mind of like what is going on, it messes with you, especially early on. Super struggle. Nowadays, there's a little bit more traction going on the channel, so the numbers kind of blur a little bit better, but they still affect you. So I just want to go in here on the on my analytics page. It has all kinds of stuff. You can see videos, analytics, just all kinds of stuff. It just shows kind of what is going on. This is just a 28-day period. All right, so here's since the first video I posted, and this is kind of the trend from December 2018 to now. So it shows you all the videos you posted, like when you posted them, things like that. And all this little blue line is the views, which I have clicked here. But if you scroll over all this, you can see when you put these videos out, like these are days. So each day you can see it's like scrolling. These are the days when you put a video out, it's kind of slow going. And again, these videos, especially early on when I was trying to figure out everything out, these things were taking me like weeks to accomplish. Super amount of hours. So you can imagine from anybody as a human being in general, it can get discouraging, especially early on when no one knows where you are at. Like YouTube is a big computer and you need to play this game, which another struggle with playing this algorithm game, especially when you're just some INFP who just wants to share stuff. It still bothers me to this day that I have to put like INFP in the majority of my titles. Down the road, you can kind of take stuff off like that, but literally if I don't, I've tested different things. Right when I don't put INFP or some kind of targeted word in the video, it completely dies and YouTube throws it under the rug because the computer is confused and doesn't quite know where to serve it to. So if you guys know me, yes, like the subscribers and things like that, you guys will see it, and it'll get some views, but then it just flatlines after like a couple days, it goes away. You can see it's a slow growth. I mean, we're already almost a year now, and it's just super small. I mean, people post videos, and again, going back to comparing yourself to others, talking Peter McKinnon, when he posts a video in the first hour, he's already up to like 50,000 to 100,000 views. For me, you know what I mean? It's like the lifetime of views is, the problem is like the videos, the first 2 days, it gets fed by YouTube. But then after those first 2 days, if you don't get a bunch of likes or comments or clicks or stuff like that, then after that 48-hour period, YouTube will bury it under to kind of highlight other creators who are, putting in the SEO work and the keywords and the tags and all the little stuff behind the scenes that you got to play the game with if you actually want to be found on YouTube. I want my content to be found because when I did make the video, it was to share it with a certain group of people. So if you don't play the game with tagging stuff and things like that, which takes work, it's just a lot of stuff, putting in time with your thumbnail, putting in all these little things where you make a video and it's all this and it takes a lot of time, but if you just stop there and you don't do it and you don't keep working on it, then you're gonna lose that viewership from the YouTube computers, and they're just gonna be like, I have no idea what this guy's even talking about, nor do I care, so I'm gonna throw it away, and it goes away. You make a video now and you only get like 50 views over a span of a couple days, it's not to say that it's gonna not take off one day. So you have weeks where you get a whole bunch of subscribers and your confidence is up and you get more motivated to kind of make videos, but then you also lose subscribers. Even when you post a video, that one hurts. You post a video out there and you're all like pumped up about it, whatever, because it's, video time. Ooh, I posted my creation. Like right when you do that, like you have like 2 subscribers drop off. You're like, oops, what did I do? But it's just something you gotta understand, that not everyone's gonna like your stuff, and that's the biggest thing. We all want to be liked in general. We have that whole mindset of like, I don't really care, I'm gonna do my own thing. But no, put something out there that's super you're into and passionate about, and see if you can sustain the mental anguish with people judging it, like just ripping it apart. If you can, by all means, that's fantastic. But if you're also just speculating about it and thinking, oh yeah, I can do that, when you haven't done it, it's a whole different ball game. So you guys see this little estimated revenue up here? In the whole time that I've been on YouTube, over a year now, I have made $1.63, which in fact I didn't make that much. So back in December when I hit or whenever it was like just last year, somewhere, I think it was around, it was like November, August, I don't know. I'll find I got some little award from them or something that said, hey, congratulations. But shortly after I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, I was able to be monetized. And like about a year ago or 2 years ago, YouTube made it to where you have to get 1,000 subscribers and also reach 4,000 hours of watch time. Hours, not minutes. Currently, this time I have 8.5 thousand hours of watch time or whatever. But I hit the 4,000 right around that mark. That's a huge milestone to do, and it's not an easy feat to achieve. It takes a while. I mean, that took me a whole year of pumping out videos, and finally I did get monetized, which was exciting. And I turned it on. You could select which videos you want to turn it on. You can put on all of them. You can put in multiple ads. You can do all kinds of stuff. So I did it for like 2 days because I just wanted to see how it worked or whatever. I got $1.63. That is not even the money you get. It's like YouTube keeps part of that, and it's all taxed, so it's probably like 50 cents or whatever you'd get of that. But also with the whole part of that monetization process, you also within a 30-day period have to hit a $100 threshold from that, where it says your estimated revenue. If I made $80 in a 30-day period, I don't get to keep any of that. Like, it goes away. It goes back down to zero. So for me, I don't have a lot of views, and it would be nice to one day, like when you put in a lot of work and just tons of work, it would be nice to be compensated. So I'm not saying I won't ever do it, but I did turn it on for 2 days to see what it was like. My ultimate take was I didn't want to annoy you guys with the ads because for the insignificant amount that I probably would even make, and you also got to deal with taxes and all that stuff for what, I don't know. So I turned it all back off, and I haven't had it on since. So right now I'm just focusing on the creative side of the things, and everyone assumes that you're just doing it for the money and you're doing this and that. I haven't made a single penny on YouTube to this date. Not saying I won't ever turn it on. Trust me, it's gonna go on one day. The ads are gonna be on there, but right now, I'm just kind of still playing. So that's the analytics. You can click on this other stuff, reach. It'll show me how many impressions you made. So YouTube fed my videos in total 1.7 million times. And of those times, people clicked on those videos 5% of the time. So that's where the thumbnails and stuff come into really play. If you do a video and you don't put any time in those thumbnails and no one clicks your stuff, then your click-through rate and all this stuff is going to be bad, and YouTube's going to sense all that with their little fancy algorithm and be like, no one likes this content. I'm not going to serve this up anymore, and I'm going to bury this so someone else can get a chance, and things like that. You can see your analytics for the last hour. It just has so many numbers where it shows people viewing your videos. It doesn't say who's viewing the videos. So the last 48 hours, 2 days, there's those videos up here, YouTube likes. So they like these famous character videos, which obviously says that you guys like the famous video things, which I will make more. Those ones do take a lot of time. Wine for me. Yeah, last 28 days, you can go click through all this stuff, reach. Views are down, impressions are down, so then you mentally get discouraged because you're like, oh no, I'm failing. You gotta wrap your head around that. Engagement, while watch time hours are going down, view duration's going down, subscribers are going down. So yeah, I still haven't quite figured out how to master the mind messing with at this point. And you would assume this is something I can nix a long time, but YouTube, again, Google, YouTube, they're just so good at this tracking numbers and where people are watching from and the female to male ratio and just all these numbers you can possibly think of. And if you're an analytical person, this and that, it's fantastic information. But if you're a mentally crazy person who has issues with seeing a subscriber drop off or seeing a dislike button getting hit, you see all this stuff, again, over time, I've gotten way better at it to process it and kind of understand this. It's just part of it. And you got to wrap your head around it. Just people, they don't want to be bothered by your content, or they don't like it, or they're just moving on in their life. But don't let that little digital click take away all of the effort that you put in to those videos and your intent for whatever your intent is, to help somebody, to find people, to do whatever it is. You just don't want someone who is taking the effort of this to totally disrupt your flow and your creative outlet and your drive to somehow figure it out on YouTube. You don't want to let that happen. So yeah, honestly, for everyone who's ever supported me, just engage and I don't know, you're just helping someone who just has a passion about something and wants to share. And it's just, it means a lot to me. So I just want to, again, voice my appreciation like I always do. And it gets like a broken record, and I don't do it all the time, but it does help. And like, it's not easy on here. And for anyone who says it is, especially if they never created content, it's not the truth. So it's rewarding. And I've had a lot of experience through doing YouTube, and I do recommend it. But it's something you got to thicken your skin up with, and you got to go in there and you just got to, if you really want it, you got to buckle down and be like, all right, let's let it rip. It's just kind of, how much you can sustain to where you're driving towards that passionate happiness instead of just giving up because it's too hard. And, there's always those things about nothing in life is easy that's worth it. And I do believe in that quote or whatever the saying is, but I will leave you guys at that, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm not good at that. Volleyball, you can't do that. All right, see you guys later. So it's complete. I'm just really social internet site